guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you my wish list and recommendations for the Sephora Beauty Insider Appreciation event. This event just came out of nowhere basically, and I'm like just finding out about it. I was actually about to like place a Sephora order like yesterday, and then I'm like, didn't I see something about a sale online? And then once I got all the details, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make a video about this because this is a big deal. This is basically like the VIB sale. I don't know if it's replacing the VIB sale, but it's a very similar concept. So it's gonna start for VIB Rouge members this Friday. You're gonna get 20% off your purchase or your order. And then VIB members and Beauty Insiders, you can start shopping the sale on the 30th. And VIB members will get 15% off, Beauty Insiders will get 10% off, and then the sale lasts for everybody until September 3rd. So it's a very similar setup as the Sephora VIB sale. I don't know if that's still happening, but regardless, I'm still going to be shopping at this sale. So I want to give you guys my top 5 products on my wish list and top 5 recommendations of products that are new to Sephora, basically, as of this summer. So if you guys want to know my wish list and recommendations, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start off with my top 5 recommendations, and the first product came out maybe like 7 months ago, but it came out on Sephora online like 3 days ago, and it's going to be in some stores. You could check out the brand's Instagram and it could tell you all the stores because I want to get some of their products in stores. So the first thing is the Dominique Cosmetics Latte Palette. Believe me when I tell you, I scrubbed this palette before filming this video because I didn't want you to judge how dirty this thing is. Luckily, my lights blur it out a little bit more, but it is pretty messy on the inside. There was just like a lot of lash glue on it and like powder all over the place, but this is one of my favorite products of 2018, at least. One of my favorite eyeshadow palettes in my collection. Love this formula, love all the shadows in here. It's just a gorgeous palette. I use it when I don't know what eyeshadow to wear. I use it when I just want to look pretty, basically. I love this palette. I love this formula. I think it's a pretty underrated palette because I have so many eyeshadow palettes. I've tried so many eyeshadow palettes, and this one is basically my favorite palette. So this is a $42 palette. It's available online right now. And it's going to be available in a lot of stores, so definitely check out Dominique Cosmetics on their Instagram. I think it's under like news, one of their highlights on Instagram. It tells you all the stores. I was reading that to make sure I could get it at the Sephora near me. And then next, this is kind of underrated as well because since I got this product, I've been using it every single day. This is the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. It is $39, and Smashbox also just released like another contour kit that has different shades. I actually think that the shades in that contour kit are like a little bit darker, which is great as an alternative to this if you have a deeper complexion. So this is the kit. It's super powdery. So this isn't just me like being really intense with my brushes. It's just like a powdery formula. You get a lot of fallout, but it's also a very creamy, soft, really blendable formula. I love mixing the contour and the bronzer together. Been doing that every single day for like 2.5 months now. So that's what I've been wearing every single day to contour. I love this blush. I like the highlighters because they're subtle. I don't wear it as like my normal day-to-day highlighter, but I'll like even dip a little bit of the highlighter and mix it into my contour to make it more of like a bronzy, glowy look, or I'll mix it into the blush too to do more of like a shimmer blush or a blush topper. So really love this kit, really love the formula. I think it's pretty underrated, super compact, really easy to travel with or just like on the go. It has like everything you need in a contour kit, especially because it also has blush, and a lot of contour kits don't have blush. So that's definitely an awesome formula, one of my favorites in my collection. And then next we have the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have a review of this. I have a comparison to some other concealers. I will leave that above me or in my description box. I'll leave it in both. I'll make sure I do that because sometimes I forget, but I will leave it in my description box too if you guys want to see like a wear test and swatches of all the shades, because that's pretty important with this one because there's a lot of different shades, which is awesome. Lots of different undertones. This is $29. And in that video, I also compare the wand to the Shape Tape foundation. This wand is a little bit smaller, a little bit more precise, Really like it. I think, no, I'm not wearing it today, but I wear it a lot. I like to use it as eyeshadow primer too. It's like a really nice base. The applicator is a little bit thick, so it gets kind of messy, but really love this concealer. I find it to be very full coverage, but not drying. I find Shape Tape to be a little bit more drying because it's more of like that moussey formula. I've been really enjoying that one basically since the day it came out. And then next up we have the new Translucent Glow powder from Laura Mercier. This just released last week and this is $38. It is very pricey for a translucent powder, but it is definitely worth it. And I think that it will last you longer than a regular translucent powder because you're probably not gonna use it as much like to bake or just to use like as much product as you do for translucent powder. But with this, I don't feel like my makeup looks powdery at all. It looks like skin, which I really like. I've never tried a powder that when I put it onto my skin, my face looks less powdery than it did before I was even wearing powder. So really love that. I love that it has this like light blurring effect. It's almost like this filter effect on your skin. It's a very fine powder. It's not glittery. It doesn't look like a highlighter powder. It's just kind of like an Hourglass ambient light powder mixed with a translucent powder. So it's subtle, so you can apply it all over your face. It's not gonna look like highlighter all over your face. It's just gonna add a little bit of a glow that looks really natural and helps like blur out your skin. So really been enjoying this. I love that it's still mattifying and not like a cream to powder formula or something like weird where it's not going to set your face, which is kind of like the purpose of a translucent powder. So have been really just enjoying this powder every time that I apply it. It makes my foundation look better every time that I apply it, and therefore I end up wearing like less face makeup because my skin looks good without all the extra product. And then lastly, for my recommendations, definitely the Norvina palette. This palette is awesome. It's my favorite Anastasia palette. I've purchased like 10 Anastasia palettes, probably even more than that, honestly, since like 2013. So I've tried out a bunch of their different formulas, a bunch of their different palettes, a lot of palettes that they don't make anymore. Really love this one. This one's kind of a mess too because I use it all the time. I love the shade Rose Gold. I love the foiled shades in here. I love the mattes in here. I just really love this formula. It's very pigmented, but it's also blendable. You don't get a lot of fallout. Really easy to use. So the formula is just super high quality. So just doing like a matte transition shade and a shimmer on my lid looks like I did 10 extra steps because it just pops so much more than so many other eyeshadow formulas. So really enjoying the Norvina palette. The formula is the same as Modern Renaissance, but the textures of the foil shades, like all the different color combinations in this palette, especially if you like warm neutrals, but you want a little bit more than just like a warm brown or bronze or gold, you're gonna get that in this palette. Definitely recommend the Norvina palette, one of my favorites from this year as well. All right, so next up, let's get into my wish list. And this is the product that made me want to make this video. And it's the Dominique Cosmetics Lemonade Eyeshadow Palette. And I had every intention to purchase this palette the minute that it came out. And I was on vacation the minute that it came out. And then like 2 days later, it sold out. And then they had to like repress the formula and it was kind of gone for like a month or so. And then it came back and I tried to buy it and it was sold out. I tried to buy this palette like 17 times. But now it's finally at Sephora and I'm like, let me hold off until this sale so I can get 20% off a palette that I've been waiting to buy since it launched back in June. So I'm super excited for this palette. I have been wanting it. I feel like this is gonna be super complimentary to the Latte palette. I wish that I had it in June because I feel like this is such a summery palette. But I'm just excited to finally have this palette and I wanna try to get this in store as soon as I can because I really wanna swatch it. I really wanna try this out. This is a palette I've been looking forward to for months, and as long as it doesn't sell out on me again, I am definitely going to pick it up. If I get anything from this sale, that is the #1 thing that I want. Oh, and it's $42. Next up, we have the Too Faced Now and Then eyeshadow palette. This is part of their 20th anniversary collection. I saw this palette and I wanted it so bad. And then I saw the price tag and I'm like, I can wait a little bit. So it is $59. It looks like a huge palette and I really, really want it. Yeah, that's basically a period, end of story. I really want this palette. It is $59 and then it's gonna be with 20% off $47.20, which is so much more reasonable compared to almost $60. So I'm definitely interested in this palette for sure. I love all the purple tones. I love like the greens in there, and then you have a lot of neutrals, but you still have like a lot of purples and pinks, and I feel like I'm always missing that from my collection. So I may pick that up. But for sure, my #1 priority is gonna be the Lemonade palette. So next up, I have a couple skincare products. I'm running out of all of my skincare products at once, and I hate when that happens because skincare is so pricey. So I just like don't use eye cream or something for like 3 months, and then I just remember to buy it. So the first product is from Ole Henriksen, and this is the Goodnight Glow Retinol Sleeping Cream. It has a long name, but this is a retinol night cream, and that's exactly what I want right now. I have been putting off repurchasing the Drunk Elephant night serum. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's super expensive, so I've been putting that off. I've also been putting off Sunday Riley Good Genes. I always thought that I would repurchase one of those during the VIB sale, and I always thought that would be like a little bit later. So I've been using some other products. I have some Pixie products I'm really loving right now, but I want something that's a little bit with stronger ingredients, a retinol product. And this product is actually a lot more affordable for $55 compared to Sunday Riley or Drunk Elephant that could get up there in like the $80 to $120 range, which is kind of like a whole haul in itself. So I really do want to pick this up. I love like their products in general. I just ran out of the Banana Bright eye cream. Like I was scraping out the edges this morning. I used it for the last time. I might pick that up as well because I need to repurchase that. I love that eye cream, and I definitely want to try out more of their products. This is a brand new launch, and when I saw it, I'm like, I want that. And I also feel like I've just been waiting for something new to come out in skincare that has made me want to purchase that instead of the products that I've already tried out before. That way I don't feel like as bored spending my money on it, if that makes sense. Like I'd rather spend my money on something like new and just like testing it out and see how it works with time versus something that I already know that I like. That might not make the most sense with skincare, but I trust this brand because I've had good results with them in general. So trying out their nighttime products, I'm really excited for that, and I love that this is like a brand new release from them. So next up, Fresh just released a few face mists, and one is the Vitamin C Antioxidant Glow Face Mist. I mentioned in my last Sephora wish list, which was like 2 weeks ago. All these products just dropped since then, but I made a wish list like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I talked about the toner from Fresh, the one that has all the rose petals in it. And I really, really want that. And then they just came out with this, and I just want to try more of their products basically. And this release definitely caught my attention. It just launched like a few days ago, and I really like that there's 2 sizes to this. There's a 3.3 ounce, and that one is $25, and then the 8.4 ounce is $44. So I would definitely lean towards the more affordable one because I have a lot of facial mists, but I use them so often. I use them twice a day at least. So I definitely want to try that out, and I'm leaning more towards that right now than the Fresh toner, especially if I could get the smaller size that's a little bit more affordable. And I just love face mist, so I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it and definitely use it up. And then lastly, this is a product that I've been eyeing at Sephora for months, or at least online. I actually don't know if I've really seen this in stores too much. And this is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer. It's $38. They have a bunch of different shades, and that's another reason why I haven't purchased this yet, because I mostly shop online, and when I go in stores, I just go like for like 2 minutes just because I'm near a Sephora and I just go inside. So I always forget about going to the Becca section and picking one of these up or just swatching them in stores. So I have this on my list right now because I always hear people talking about this, and I feel like this formula, anytime somebody describes like the Becca formula and also that it's more of like a glowy, subtle shimmer bronzer, I'm all about that. So I'm definitely ready to get one of these Becca bronzers. The packaging just looks like super luxurious, and it's not like super, super, super expensive. It's not like $50, $38 is still expensive, but for the look and feel of it, the vibe of it, because I haven't felt it actually, but it just seems like a really luxurious bronzer. And for me, like my matte bronzers in my collection, it's so hard for me to go through them. Like right now I have Hoola in my everyday makeup drawer. It's hard for me to reach for it because it's a matte bronzer, but all my shimmers in my collection, all my shimmer bronzers, I go through them so quickly because I just use them like all over my body basically. So I really want to try one of those out. Let me know if you guys have one of the Becca bronzers. Let me know what shade I should get or you would recommend. Alright guys, so that's everything for today's video. Let me know what you're planning on getting for this sale in the comments below. Also, I'll leave all the details for the sale in my description box, as well as all the details for my back to school giveaway that's still open for like 10 or so days. Check that out in my description box. And if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.